Hey everyone, let's talk about social media depression. So, excessive time on social media has been linked to increases in depression, anxiety, feelings of inadequacy, and of course, if you already have mental health struggles, it can make it worse. I've often called Facebook the greatest hits of a person's life, and I've written about this subject of social media depression. I'll post a link to my article in the description box below. But when I say Facebook is the greatest hits of a person's life, I'm referring to the fact that, people are more likely to make post a picture to announce an engagement or the beginning of a new relationship, but they're not going to make a post after a breakup. I have never seen anybody post a picture on Instagram or Facebook after a breakup showing them lying in bed with a pint of Ben and Jerry's. But breakups are a part of life. So people will do things like they'll post a picture to announce they got their dream job, but I've never seen anybody announce when they bombed the job interview. But, getting a bad grade on a test, a bad job interview, these are all a part of life. And as social media has become the bigger and bigger presence in our lives, sometimes we end up comparing ourselves to others unconsciously, and it's unhealthy because so many people on social media are presenting a filtered image of their lives. It's literally and figuratively a filtered image of another person's life, and we never know what's going on in someone's interior thoughts. And so here are, we should take these things with a grain of salt. So here are some of the ways social media and mental health problems manifest. One of them is FOMO, fear of missing out, and that's a real thing. FOMO is in the Oxford Dictionary. FOMO is a feeling of unease. It's a constant belief that other people are doing something more exciting and interesting than you are, and that's not always true. Aside from the fact that you don't even know when that picture was taken, the truth is that boredom is a part of life. And we've all had experiences that were canceled. We've all had to adjust, and you don't see that on social media, right? Another consequence of comparisons on social media is that body image issues. So studies have shown that for young people, comparing yourselves to your friends on social media, especially when you spend a lot of time there, is actually worse for confidence and body image than flipping through fashion magazines, because the assumption with fashion magazines is that those images have been photoshopped or airbrushed. But the reality is that a lot of pictures that we see on social media are photoshopped, they're filtered. There's apps where they can smooth your skin, they can make you look thinner, or they can make body parts look bigger. And so we don't really know, and it's not really healthy to compare yourselves to others. Another consequence of, and comparisons can be an insidious thing, right? It may not happen overnight. Another thing that gradually happens is that we spend so much time addicted to social media that we're not really living our lives anymore. So for example, you've seen those pictures at the concerts where 80% of the audience has their phones in the air, and sharing experiences we've had, when it becomes more important than actually living the experience, that's not healthy. So for instance, you're in the audience listening to a great speaker, but instead of listening to the speaker, you're taking pictures to prove that you were at the conference. You could be having dinner with somebody, and instead of enjoying the food and the great conversation with a friend, you are taking pictures of the food, right? There's that expression, I did it all for the gram. And then taking pictures of the food, that takes up time. You got to find the right lighting, etc., etc. So when we spend so much time curating and updating our accounts, we're no longer living in the moment, and life is just passing us by. So what are a few solutions for dealing with social media depression? So here are 5 suggestions that I have. The first is to have a healthy perspective. So don't compare yourself on your worst day to someone else on their best day. So we know that Everybody has winters in their lives. Trials happen to everyone. It's important, though, to be kind to ourselves. And I would add to that to be authentic. So some experiences in life, they're just too personal to share. And I've decided that if I'm not going to share every negative thing that happens to me, I am also not going to share, excuse me, I need water. I'm also not going to share every positive thing that happens to me, because that's just not healthy. That's putting something out there into the universe that isn't true. And it's contributing to that echo chamber of Instagram where everything is the best life ever, hashtag best life ever. And I don't want to do that. So in addition to having a healthy perspective, there's moderating your time. Sometimes you just have to log off on social media for your mental health. And third, it's building and maintaining healthy relationships. So we need a social support network, right? Social support networks, they help us manage stress, they help us manage depression. So you could schedule a Zoom session with a friend to catch up instead of scrolling through their social, instead of scrolling through Instagram. I just exchanged a bunch of emails with a friend who lives far away about a TV show we both like, right? We're talking about the finale. Find community, because we all have a need for human connection. And you can ask yourself, okay, you could join a local volunteer organization. You could join a club that is about your favorite hobby. You could attend your local house of worship. Are you making friends when you go to school or when you go to work? Are you being intentional about building that social support network? And fourth, find an activity that releases endorphins. So I've talked about this a lot as a person with bipolar 2 disorder, that exercise is so vital for me in managing depression. And I did a video, I'll post a link in the description box below, how to exercise when you're depressed, because I know depression makes it hard to exercise, but ironically, it's those endorphins, those feel-good hormones that when they're released, they help us fight stress. And if exercise is a dirty word for you, I know a lot of people hate that word, find something else, call it something else that releases endorphins. It could be dancing, it could be jogging, it could be going for a walk. Find something fun that you can look forward to. And fifth and finally, find a creative outlet, right? So I've interviewed a lot of people who have gone through inpatient and outpatient treatment for depression. And one of the things I found is that a lot of men told me they were shocked at how making the macaroni necklace helped them. So the macaroni necklace is the necklace made out of pasta shells. Finding a creative outlet, it can be learning to play an instrument, it can be drawing or sketching or painting, and you don't have to do this, you don't have to share it with anybody else, it's just you. So for me today, my creative outlet was makeup, because I was watching this show about makeup artists called Glow Up on Netflix, and it inspired me to experiment with different colors and try new things. So those are some of the tips I have, and like I said, I'm going to post an article to my article about tips for dealing with social media depression below in the description box. It's on my blog, which is called Fashionably Ill, and the URL to Fashionably Ill is just my name, www.jessicajimeno.com. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and please share it with others if you found it helpful. So just a really brief recap from my speech team, speech and debate background, we always do recaps. So a brief recap of the 5 suggestions I have for dealing with social media depression is 1, what did I say? I'm so tired. 1, I said, have a healthy perspective. 2, moderate your time, log off once in a while. 3rd, build and maintain healthy relationships. 4th, find an activity that releases endorphins. And 5th, and finally, find a creative outlet. So let me know if social media has ever, comparisons or whatever have ever affected your mental health and how you deal with it. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time in my next video. Thank you so much.